Hey, welcome! We're about to dive into this incredible ancient story, one that really flips the script on where we find wisdom. See, we often think it's hidden away in old books or with some far off guru, right? Well, this story shows us it's actually in plain sight, all around us, every single day. Let's get into it.
So let me ask you this right off the bat. Who's your greatest teacher? Seriously, take a second. Is it a mentor, a parent, maybe an author you really admire? It's a big question, one we all kind of chew on from time to time. Well, it turns out an ancient king once asked a wise sage that exact same question. And the answer? Well, it changed everything. This is where our story kicks off. You have this powerful king, and then you have this humble sage who just seems to radiate this deep, unshakable joy. And the king? Well, he just had to know his secret. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of their meeting. The king, with all his wealth and power, asks the sage this one simple question. And it's a question that's about to unlock a whole new way of looking at the world. So the king is looking at this sage, and he's just confused. This guy is practically glowing with wisdom and happiness, right? But here's the thing. He's not famous. He's not the student of some big shot master. So the king just comes right out and asks him, "You seem so fulfilled, but who's your guru? Where does all this come from?" And the sage's answer, it was definitely not what the king was expecting. He didn't name a famous teacher. Nope. He just gave a number. 24. He says, "My lord, I don't have just one guru. I have 24. And here's the kicker. He says he learned from them just by watching the world, by observing everything with an intelligent and, most importantly, an open mind. This is the secret, right here. His teachers weren't people in some special school. They were the world itself." So, you're probably wondering, who on earth were these 24 teachers? Well, they were this amazing mix of things from nature and everyday life. Let's take a look at a few. I mean, check out this list. We're talking about the earth, a python, the ocean, even a small child and a young girl. Not to mention the sun and the moon. It's just everything, and each one of these taught him something incredibly powerful. All right, let's zoom in on one of the most surprising teachers on that list, the python. And the lesson it taught the sage was all about contentment. So what exactly is this contentment the python teaches? Well, it's the art of just accepting what comes your way without all that frantic effort and struggle. It's about finding satisfaction in what life provides instead of constantly chasing more. The idea is pretty powerful when you think about it. A python doesn't run around, desperately trying to find its next meal. It just lies still and it accepts whatever food comes to it. The sage saw this and had a light bulb moment. He realized he could do the same. Just let go of all that anxious energy and trust that what he needs will show up. Okay, from the python, let's move on to another of his teachers, and this one is a big one, the ocean. From the ocean, he learned a huge lesson about emotional stillness. And when we say stillness, we're not talking about being totally motionless. No, it's this deep inner calm, this gravity that keeps you grounded and unbothered, no matter what kind of chaos is happening on the surface. I mean, just think about the ocean for a second. During the monsoon, all these rivers are dumping water into it. But does it overflow? Nope. Then in the summer, water evaporates. But does it shrink away to nothing? No way. It stays steady. The sage saw this and thought, aha, that's how a wise person should be. Steady through all the highs and lows, all the gains and losses. So the python and the ocean, these are great examples, right? But they're pointing to something even deeper. The real lesson isn't just what he learned, it's how he learned it. And this is where we discover who his real number one teacher was all along, his own mind. Here's another great little story to illustrate this. The sage sees this young girl wearing a whole bunch of bangles on her wrist. And every time she moves to do her work, they just make all this noise, clanking and clattering. But when she just wears a single bangle on each wrist, silence, total focus. And from that tiny, everyday observation, the sage pulled out this huge lesson. Sometimes, in solitude, away from all the noise and chatter, that's where you find real peace and focus. And this is the real secret, you guys. The python wasn't holding a lecture. The ocean wasn't giving a speech. The wisdom wasn't in the objects themselves. It was in the sage's receptive mind that was able to draw that wisdom out. The ultimate teacher is always your own mind. Our perception literally shapes our reality. There's this amazing story about Krishna that just nails this idea. See, his touch is described as being soft as butter to his devotees. But to his enemies, that very same touch felt like a red-hot iron rod. The action was the same, but how it was perceived, that was a world of difference. It all came down to the person's own attitude and intentions. So, what does this all mean for us? Well, it brings the whole lesson right back home. If the world is the teacher, then our everyday lives, that's our classroom. So you've got to ask yourself, what are your 24 gurus? I mean, what can that horrible traffic jam teach you about patience? What about a thunderstorm? Maybe it's a lesson in letting go of control. And a kid's laughter, isn't that a masterclass in pure joy? You see, the lessons are everywhere, baked right into our daily lives. And that, right there, is the most empowering part of this whole thing. You don't have to go on some grand quest to find a teacher or dig up some secret book. The ability to find wisdom is already inside you. Your teachers are all around you, right here, right now. It's really just a matter of learning how to look. So I want to leave you with this one last thought. Every single moment, every object, every person you meet, they're all offering you a lesson. The world is speaking, constantly. The only question is, are you listening?